What's up with it, man? Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment. Here again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you're not a member of the channel, and also hit the notifications so that you're able to get each and every one of my videos. Okay, now, before I get this video started, I want to give a shout out to one of the LDBC homies in Everything Boxing and Sports. If you haven't subbed to his channel, definitely go sub to Everything Boxing and Sports. Uh, he always giving, just like the rest of the LDBC brothers in here, giving up to date boxing info, and is definitely a boxing a boxing aficionado, and one of my favorite channels to go to, man, and just a good guy all around, good content too as well. So definitely go sub to his page. Um, he pretty much had put people on that Shawn Porter is retiring, and he had planned to retire, even before the fight had happened and everything. Um, this to me, whenever you have that type of, mentality going into a fight, it's 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna really plan. It's not gonna pan out well, you know. Uh, and then also, Kenny Porter had came out and basically said that, he had planned to ahead of time to stop the fight if things had went poorly for Shawn. Now, here's my thing. Before all of this, you know, y'all seemed pretty amped before the fight had taken place. Um, you know, what's up with it, Be More Legends? I see you in the building. You said that boy Bud Dangerous Porter has nothing more than a stepping stone for fighters. I mean, nah, I'm not gonna disrespect Shawn Porter like that. I'm not gonna disrespect a man like that because, believe it or not, very few have done what Shawn Porter has actually done in terms of fighting everybody, and can say that they fought every single guy that was at 147 in the welterweight division. You know, win, loss, or draw. Now, I am disappointed because I feel like if you were uh, if you wanted to go ahead and call it quit and everything, you know, you gotta let the people know that, beforehand. Now I know it's your decision, it's your life and everything, but at the same token, you were amped up. It seemed like before this fight, and everybody else was amped up. I certainly was amped up. If y'all know and y'all came to my channel, I was, I was pushing for Shawn Porter to win. I wanted him to win because it wasn't out of, bias, but the thing about it is that everybody was just overlooking this man. Like he was just, some guy. Okay, yeah, you could just run mollywop right through and everything. And I thought he was gonna put out, a better fight, but it didn't pan out well for him. And you got to give Crawford, his respect. Uh, and this is another thing, and I'm gonna do this in a separate video too, as well. I'm gonna talk about this because I think that this needs to be really put out there. A lot of y'all think that I have like a lot of hate towards a man like Buzz Crawford, and I don't. I respect the hell out of Terrence Crawford, and my respect for him further elevated and amplified after last night. And this was even before the ring. You know, you had silly people that were talking because I was on one of the homies page. I was with the boy Monty Brown TV. Shout out to him too. If you haven't subbed to his channel, definitely go sub to his channel too. You know, when he walked out there alone by himself doing the ring walk, a lot of people they might look at that like, oh, that's weird, you know, because you know usually when you're doing the ring walk, you know, you got people, you know, got security around you, you know, you got you know the cut men, the trainers, this, that, and the third walking out with you, and then of course you got your selected artist that is gonna come out there singing and stuff. Well, he walked out there by himself, and he walked out there dolo, and that to me, that already showed like, okay, this man is about business, and this man is ready to go to war, and he had a savage like mentality, and it was like, okay, with 50 motherfuckers or without 50 motherfuckers, I'm still gonna come out there and still gonna put lay the wood, pretty much put you on the ground. And that right there, that's when my respect elevated for him, because there were a lot of people in there that were actually rooting for Shawn, and I know a lot of people were anxious to see, okay, what what Crawford what he could truly do. And he came in there, he out strategized Shawn Porter. Um, to a certain, I'm not gonna say he outboxed Shawn Porter, because Shawn Porter he was up. They had Shawn Porter. They had him up by one at one point. It was 67 to 66. I had him up a little bit more than that. But he was using his strategy, and then also Shawn, you could see that he was getting up under his skin and really frustrating um, Terrence Crawford. You could see that he was getting up under his skin. But anyways, that's not really what this video is about, man. Really, basically, what it is about and what it boils down to is, you know, you being a fighter. I don't care if it's fighting or any type of sport or whatever. If it's time to go, you gotta let everybody know that, because then people are gonna wonder, okay, well, why did you why did you just give up so easily at something? I'm not saying that's what Shawn Porter did, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought Shawn Porter was gonna go the duration of the fight for the simple fact of his conditioning. And his conditioning looked great coming out, but then toward the end, you could clearly see that it was Buzz taking over and taking control of the fight. Um, I don't think that Shawn Porter or Kenny Porter uh, were as heavily invested. Now that I think about it, the promotion that came out and stuff. And really, I think people were just ready to kind of get this fight out of the way too. They really didn't want to see this fight. I don't think as many people wanted to see this fight as much as they want to see Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. That's what the people truly want to see. They would have rather see tonight that fight more so than this fight, really. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's like, yeah, a lot of people they felt like, oh, yeah, we'll put up with Shawn Porter, but we rather see Earl Spence because that's what they were really talking about. And I think it was kind of disrespectful to Sean Porter because people were already like looking forward to Crawford and Spence. That's how disrespectful they were being towards Sean Porter, and that's why I was just like, well, how can he hadn't won anything yet, and I know he just won, but what if he had lost? I can guarantee you, if Sean Porter would have won, everybody would have came with all these different excuses as to why he won. You know what I'm saying? Because it wouldn't have been expected. What they expected is they expected Sean Porter to lose. They were even saying that, they even predicted the knockout. They even predicted the knockout for him. And what's up, Theo? And this is my thing too. You can't, be 1 foot in and one foot out. You understand? You have to be fully invested. If I'm not into something and I'm not 100% into it, I'm not gonna sit up here and give a front. Like when I do this YouTube thing, I'm not gonna tell y'all, okay, you know what, guys, I'm finna stop doing YouTube or whatever. And then next thing you know, I come back and I'm like, you know what? I check. No, I'm gonna be 100. If I say I'm gonna stop, I'm going to stop. Like if I say I'm gonna stop for a while, I'm gonna stop for a while. Because then people are gonna look at you kind of sideways, and that's how I look at it. Like, okay, if you're gonna sit there and you're gonna say that you want to retire and you had that in the back of your mind, that means that you're not gonna give 100. You're not gonna give 150%. You said this fight was to see if Bud was tough enough to fight Spence. Bud is very underrated. Porter is like Wilder, brawler with good power. But you know what though, B more? Last night he actually outboxed from Porter actually looked good in the first like 7 rounds. He actually looked good first 7 to 8 rounds. He actually looked good in terms of boxing and moving. There were a couple, he swung wild on a few punches, even when Bud, he utilized a little bit of his defense, but he actually was up on the numbers percentage wise of landing and throws, but then Bud superseded that. I want to say like it was like in the 7th or 8th round or whatever, he started landing the more clear shots and everything, you know. Uh, and if you paid attention to the fight, because a lot of people, they get on here, Be More Legends, and they pretend they watch the fight, or they look at the highlights or something like that, and then they take their viewpoint. That's why, like, I don't really like when people come on here and stuff like that. I can tell by your conversation, and I could tell by your dialogue that you didn't look at the fight. You just looked at the highlights, or you probably read you probably read the fight reviews that they put online and stuff, and then you go ahead and then you gather your observation. But sometimes, like when you do that, the eye test will be different. And then if you look at Sean Porter and the way that he was moving and everything, and you go back and you go look at that fight, you'll be like, Sean Porter came out, and he came out very aggressive, as he's been known to do. But this is my thing. I still I have to be on his helmet. Pause. Well, um, I wouldn't even say. Well, you're saying that now, but uh, you said that he was playing with him. if he was playing with him, then guess what? He wouldn't have frustrated him. So let's not act like Buzz wasn't having, a tough time with his strategy, because he was. And initially he was. It wasn't just like, because he was winning damn near every round. Shawn Porter was. He was coming out there for real to fight. But I think that if he would have said that, if he wouldn't have been like, I'm not gonna retire, or not even mention anything about having retirement in the back of his mind, I think the fight would have went a little bit different. Now, to say that Shawn Porter was gonna win, I don't know, but it certainly would have been a lot closer than this, because sometimes, like, when you say, okay, yeah, I'm about to call it quits and everything, it's like you're automatically ready to get it over with. You're automatically ready to just get up out of it. Let's just go ahead and get it over with and stuff like that. Whereas, Bud still got something to prove. He still wants, okay, look, I got this fight. Let's get this out of the way. Then I could go for Spence. Then, that type of mentality. But he was definitely frustrating him, and your smoke screen can be a smile sometimes, just to, be like, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna laugh it off and everything. But he was frustrating him, and that's okay. He's a human being. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get frustrated, and Shawn Porter certainly hasn't. Uh, he That's not his only fight where he's frustrated the opponent. He's been known to frustrate the opponent constantly. So um now the next question is what's next for Buzz. Now, some people, believe it or not, they don't want him to automatically just fight Earl Spence, and a lot of people don't want Earl Spence to fight Terrence Crawford. Me myself, uh, you know, I'm like this. If you're gonna take that route, I'm gonna do what my partner Jacob said last night. Shout out to Jacob Jennings. Jacob had suggested, okay, maybe get, you know, Ugas, somebody like a Ugas or something like that, fight that fight, and then go ahead and then come with it. But see, the problem with that though is, if they do something like that, I'm almost I'm almost for certain that they're gonna prolong this thing, and I don't think people wanted that. Not playing, but he would take a punch. Bud looks strong, and his defense looks better. That's a fact. I give you that, B more. Yeah, he and Terrence Crawford. A lot of people were critical. They said he looked slower, but nah. He just, I could tell that he was coming in there with a certain strategy, because you can't fight every fight the same way. You know what I'm saying? And that's what separates him from, Shawn Porter. See, Shawn Porter, as much as I like Shawn Porter, and as much as I respect him, he fights every fight the same way, you know. And Buzz clearly showed last night that, hey, I'll go ahead and say it. He's got ring IQ, you know. He's got ring IQ. And that's why, a guy like Earl Spence. See, y'all look at Earl Spence like, you know, like this guy, okay, yeah, his skills, they say that Earl Spence is one dimensional and everything. And that's way, way, way far from the truth. You can't be, you can't have possess a high ring IQ and be one dimensional. And Bud certainly showed that last night. He certainly showed that last night. And that's the only thing. Like when if you come in here and you like, oh yeah, well see, I told you, I told you, I told you. Listen, you the only thing that you told me is that okay, your prediction for the fight, he was gonna win and everything, right? But I never said. See, there's people trashing Terrence Crawford. They'll say, okay, yeah, he's trash. He can't do this. He can't do that. He's this and he's that. I never said those things. I did say that he was overhyped at one point, and I said that he his resume didn't match up with some of the other fighters, but I never took away from his skill. How can I take away from a guy's skill and he's one of the six fighters to be undisputed? He said, "Well, yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people don't like his style. There's a lot of people that they don't go for the brawling style. I'm not a fan of his style. I'm more so a fan of his heart. I'm more so a fan of his heart and his grit and his toughness. That's what I like about Shawn Porter. His skill is not it's not pretty at all. Now last night he was kind of you could tell that he kind of tried to work on some things, you know what I'm saying, and coming into the fight or whatnot, but he wasn't going to he wasn't going to out strategize uh, Terrence Crawford. But now was next up. But see, this is what I don't get either, too, right? See, see, before the fight, everybody swore up and down that Caleb Plant was gonna knock Canelo out. They sold the fight pretty good. They said that, what's up with it, Sonny? I see you in the building. They said that, hey, yeah, and Sonny, man, hey, how's Cleveland feeling, man? Because Shawn Porter is from Cleveland. He represents for y'all. So, and I know you was probably going for Porter. Yeah, he's a scrapper, man, but he's about to retire. He's calling it quit, man. He's calling it quit. He's calling it quit. And he had plans to call it quit before the fight. Him and his father, him and Kenny, they had planned to call it quit. You said the second best sport. Yeah. Well, I mean, if I had to, like, I had to put if I really had to put it in order. Hold on 1 second, y'all. If I had to put it in order, right now is basketball, then football, then boxing or whatnot. But like at one point, believe it or not, y'all, I had boxing second, but boxing was starting to deteriorate, for a while. But now it's starting to make its way back. They're doing a good job of trying to make its way back. I think boxing sees that a lot of, like the YouTube game, the YouTubers and stuff like that are really starting to take over and everything. And so they're like, okay, wait a minute, let's go. And once Bob Arum leaves, man, I think that's gonna open up a lot of things because he's such a, in my opinion, man, he's such a dark cloud on boxing right now. You said who would be a good opponent for Broner to make it? Broner, Broner's done, man. And I like Broner too. If you go look at my videos when he came back for that one fight, he won. But Broner not consistently fighting. He's not consistently being out there in the ring. He's done. I know Clarissa Shield was that's her friend, and she took to Instagram and social media and said that you know trying to give him support and everything. But Broner's his own man. He's done, man. He's done. And that's no knock on him. Broner had the potential to go down as a tremendously great fighter, but you gotta be consistent. I'll take Porter before I take Broner for the simple fact that at least Porter is gonna show up for the fight. Porter's gonna be there. He's gonna put 100%. Well, at least in the past he did. I don't think he put 100% into this fight. Now that I think about it, now that he was close to retiring. Yeah, exactly. You got to separate the two. You got to separate the two. Either you're gonna be in the streets and see a lot of people they find okay, yeah, if you're in the gym constantly, trying to work on your skill, trying to work on your craft and stuff like that, and you just staying focused on that and you're not in the streets, they see that as weakness. Nah, that's not weakness, that's just being smart. Why am I gonna sit here and go do something that's gonna land me in prison or that's gonna land me in a jail cell or land me in the box permanently 6 feet under. No, I want to work on my skills, work on my craft, so that way I can go ahead and try to get the bag the legal way and create generational wealth. And not only that, go down in history. Yeah, but that I mean, all that shit is short lived. And some people that talk that type of shit ain't even never did that shit, man. There's people that get killed over dice games. So and I don't even like the glory of that. Yeah, man, Broner had lots of potential, speed, defense. Yeah, he's done. And that's what I'm saying. Like it'd be different if we seen him working out in the gym, perfecting his skills, trying to get better and stuff like that. You're not doing that. Listen, do you think that he would be ready to fight like a guy like Devin Haney? No. I'm not saying they in the same not in the same weight class, but I'm talking about as far as the mentality. Devin Haney's already ready to go. He's in the gym. He's been working. You see what he's been doing. And if you haven't seen you haven't seen him work, then you'll see his fights. You see that okay, this motherfucker been working out. Yeah, exactly. Man, come on, man. Get your life together before you step back in there. And go look at my videos in the past. If y'all want to, go check my videos out. When he first came back, I was excited for AB. But then you want to step back in there and you want to start, getting into trouble and stuff like that. And then people still what they know you for is sleeping with Polly's girl and all that other stuff. Man, that's and really that made you look bad. Um, yeah, Devin Haney and Shakur, and I like Shakur's potential. Shakur and Boots as well, Gerard Ennis. But yeah, be more sunny, man. I'm gonna be going live a little bit later, man. It's your boy, Polo Sports Talking, ENT, and thank Theo for pulling up too as well. Like this video, share it, subscribe, also hit the notification too. What's up, Artistic Obsidian? You should have came earlier, man. Until then, man, it's Polo Sports Talking ENT, man. I get at y'all later.